Hey guys, I just got to the hill and it is snowing, which is very exciting, except for the fact that I didn't do warm up at home this morning. So I thought it would be a great day to show you the quickest warm up you can do, boots on, to get you ready for a day skiing. And I focus on it being like super short and effective so that you can get it done before the first lift is spinning, but it still makes you enjoy that first run more and makes you less sore at the end of the day. Now, that being said, I'm gonna make this so you could just follow along, but I'm also gonna intermingle a little bit about the why behind the exercises. So you can save this to do before you ride the lift, or you can also watch it beforehand so you know each exercise and why we're doing it. Anyhow, let's start by getting our boots on. Now, I like to think that our warm-up exercises all fit into one of three categories. They're either general, getting your heart rate up and blood flowing, which is really important, or getting a specific muscle ready, like very specifically my quads or glutes, or getting a movement primed that we want to use while we're skiing. If I only could pick one of those categories, I would pick getting your heart rate up a little bit to get you generally warm. I like to take a little walk, maybe park farther from the lifts and walk with my skis. The key is I don't want to be out of breath. I just want to start to feel myself getting warm and start to feel my heart rate increase a little bit. I found that doing this for a little bit longer period of time has been better as I've gotten a little bit older. But you can also do this without skis, and as long as you stay safe and stay off the areas where the groomers are, you could certainly take a walk around the base just to get yourself warm. If you find spots that aren't like groomed and you're falling through the snow, sinking down a little bit, that can actually help you get warm sooner. And after that, you're gonna go into these magical exercises that I love.
So we're gonna start today with leg swings, but not just your regular leg swings where you're just kind of throwing your leg around without using your muscles. Instead, you're gonna kick your butt, kick the ground. And that ends up having a high knee as well. So I kick back, I kick up, I kick back, I kick up. We're gonna be doing this for 30 seconds per side. And I find that as I'm going, I can get that knee higher and I can get a little bit more force into that kick. Now, after I'm done 30 seconds, then I'm just gonna switch to my second side. And there's bonus points here. If you're feeling really good, you could remove the poles, go for the balance component, or I like to keep my poles and just increase how hard I'm kicking, both with the kick down after the high heel and then with the high knee. And you're gonna find that this gets your quads warmed up, your glutes warmed up, your hamstrings firing. It's so good, and that's why I always start the day with it. After that, we're gonna go into a figure 8. And so basically, I like to think of this as drawing a giant figure 8 with my foot. I tried to give you a bunch of different angles here. I think the lower left-hand corner of the screen, you can really see how I'm sort of drawing an 8 with my foot, but I am still getting the knee quite high, and I'm getting the heel quite high as I kick backwards. So this one can take a little bit of coordination. At the beginning, it might feel kind of awkward and weird. Pretty soon, it's gonna be your favorite. We're gonna switch on over to the second side here. And as we're doing the second side, you'll notice I'm going a little quicker on my second side because I'm starting to feel warm. But the reason I like this is we're getting a little bit more, we're actually getting internal and external rotation through the femur, but we are combining that with abduction and adduction. Anyhow, all you need to know is your entire hips are going to be ready to stabilize you as you go down the hill skiing, and you're gonna feel so good. Bonus points, this one also makes your toes nice and warm. So this next one, I like to just roll my feet in my ski boots to the outside and then to the inside. There's two ways you can do this. You could start with really big movements, trying to really drive your knees to the outside and then in, or you can start with tiny movements. Either way, I do it for 45 seconds, and I want to feel my feet at some point, really feel pronation and supination, and then I also want to, at another point, really feel that drive coming from the hip. So feeling my glutes or my butt muscles helping my knees come out and my knees come back in. Now, as I say that, we want the knee to stay centered. We don't want to be cranking on the knee in or out. So stay in that range of motion that works well for you. Then we're going to go into 30 seconds, just getting the spine a little, aware of itself and getting those arms ready to go up and overhead. Now, obviously, we're not skiing with our arms up and overhead, but I have seen a few shoulder injuries from crashes. And so if we actively bring our arms up and overhead, if we get those muscles warm, lubricated, get blood going where it needs to, get water where it needs to be, then if we take a crash, we're less likely to do any long-term damage. After that, we can then actually actively use the hands as well to do some of these lateral jumps. Now, I got the gym version in here too, just to show you really what I'm doing. Because at the beginning, you're going to want to jump and stop, kind of like freeze at each endpoint as you're jumping side to side. Then you can up the ante and go a bit faster. All of a sudden now I'm not doing that freeze. I'm not doing that balance. I'm just going quick left and right, left and right. And I find that doing both of those is really, really helpful for getting warm. After that, we're going to do a few jumps. And so I don't put a time on these because I usually just do a couple of them. This is that power component, right? And we just want to get full hip extension, do a couple jumps, have a little fun with it. You'll notice I'm not jumping straight forward, I'm jumping a little to the side, more mimicking skiing where both legs are doing something, but they're doing different things. That's why skiing is called that bilateral sport, but biocyclic in that we're doing something different with left side and right side. So these are now my sneaky warm-ups, and I'll do those right before I put my skis on. I'm actually driving my toes hard into the ground of the back foot here, and that is going to be getting my muscles firing even though they're not moving. So it's an isometric exercise. Then I'll go to my second side. 2 ways you can do this. You can press hard for 30 seconds or press for 5 seconds, relax for 5 seconds. Press for a couple seconds, relax for a couple seconds. And these are sneaky because they're getting some action happening in your muscles without you moving. Same thing I'm doing here, but I'm driving my knees out to the side, which is cueing those glute muscles to do the work for me. So if you're someone who feels, IT band pain at the end of the day or TFL stuff, then these are a really good cue. You're just saying, hey, that's what it feels like to use my glutes throughout the turn. That's my super quick warm up. I'm so glad you joined me for today, and I hope you have a wonderful day out skiing.